Hey ladies and gentlemen, it is Javier here with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, and mysticism to rapid lifestyle transformation. And here I am in my beautiful outdoor mobile office here, and I just got off 2 back-to-back coaching calls. And these coaching calls are so energizing. They're energizing both for the client and for myself. We're able to share ideas. I'm able to benefit the other person, and we're able to come up with synergetic solutions. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, my coaching calls are not at all limited to any one topic, because I cover a multifaceted array of topics in my consulting and in everything I do. So, for example, if you have questions about business and bookkeeping, I can draw on my years of experience in business, my ability to have launched 3 successful businesses in the past, to give you the advice you need for that. If you want to talk about investing, well, I can show, of course, I'm not an accredited investment advisor, so you cannot take this as investment advice. If you want investment advice, go to a licensed investment advisor. But just as a chat, I can tell you how I make thousands of extra dollars a month trading in the currency exchange markets, and the very simple strategies that I use to do that. I can give you advice on that. If you need advice in relationships, I can draw on my experience of how I manifested my specific person into my life at the perfect time without me having to lift a finger. So we cover all of these modalities, and in all of these I have extensive experience, as well as the great and deep study of these topics and of spirituality. So do schedule a coaching call. We have great deals on those, and basically for that 30 minutes or that hour, I am basically putting myself at your disposal to answer any questions that you have, and we will synergistically create solutions based on that. So ladies and gentlemen, today I just wanted to go in a topic that we did cover in our last coaching session with a client. And of course, I never discuss any of these topics in our coaching sessions unless the client gives me express permission to do so. And of course, I never mention names. Your privacy is always protected. A key topic that we went into is that I noticed that this client was trying to attain perfection. He was trying to get into the perfect state in order to manifest what he wanted, which in this case was a business. And he was basically waiting for the stars to align, so to speak, and waiting for the perfect set of circumstances to come up. He was also waiting to get interiorly perfect, to have that perfect emotional semblance so that he could attract that perfectly into his life. And as we know, getting into vibrational alignment with your desire is a very important thing in manifesting. But becoming obsessive about it and becoming obsessive about feelings actually works against you. And when you find yourself becoming obsessive about feelings and obsessively questioning yourself as to whether you're in alignment with that, then drop that, because that seeking after a perfect set of circumstances puts you on a film roll of simply seeking. And then you're simply holding that outcome out of your life in time and space. You're pushing it further from you. Many great business teachers talk about the fact that the perfect is the enemy of the good. And that's why in your first stages of setting up any new modality in your life, whether that be a business, whether that be a new habit, we do encourage to take whatever actions you can on the current film roll. And you go in fast and you go in hard, and in the beginning stages you shoot for quantity, not for quality. So for example, if you're trying to learn a new skill, let's say you're trying to learn piano, and you're just starting learning the piano, we would encourage you not to start deeply diving into perfecting all of the finger positions and all of the strings. But what we would do is we would choose just a few strings that will give you the most bang for your buck, and then we would have you practice those strings and jump right into it. This is accelerated learning that Tim Ferriss and others have gone into, well documented. Because at the beginning stages, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to know what steps you even need to take to get to the top of your skill set. You're not trying to get to the top of your skill set. You're just trying to get your foot in the door and to get momentum going so that then you have a beachhead, so that then you have the habits and the patterns set into your daily schedule so that then you can move forward. So in the beginning stages, I would say the first 20 hours, don't care about quality, just care about quantity and care about moving in. And this also goes into your imaginal creation. Your creation's on the imaginal plane. A lot of people, due to the influence of a lot of law of attraction coaches and teachers, think that we have to get into the perfect framework of the perfect feelings, and we have to feel it real, and we have to feel good all the time. But this is not true. Getting in the state has nothing to do with feelings. And the proof of this is that there are many great people who have met all of their lifetime goals or lifestyle goals, or at least have met the top goals, and they're not emotionally very happy and their lives are in disorder. We're not saying that you should do this, but what we're saying is there are many wealthy people, there are many great people who are not balanced emotionally, who are not feeling good all the time, and in fact are not feeling good most of the time. So you don't have to feel good to get your desire. The only thing that you have to do is to get to your desires to click into that state. And that is simply feeling yourself into the surrounding circumstances, into the context that we give, that we talk about on our channel. And then when you feel yourself right into that, you are in that state. So I care not how you feel. And the irony is that once you get into state and once you start practicing it, your feelings come into alignment. And then you feel this high, and we call this on this channel flow. You're in the state of flow, and that comes from getting into the state of your desire. But you have to give yourself your desire first. And to do that, you have to do whatever you can, whether that's imaginal, whether that's self-talk, whether that's a simple sensing or just a feeling of being in those circumstances to get into that desire and to give it to yourself now. We can give you an example of this. For example, let's say you want a business. Well, you don't necessarily have to imagine yourself doing transactions or looking at your bank account. No, just think in your mind, what is the feeling state of the person who has that business? How would I walk around now knowing that I have that business? And then simply snap yourself into that. It's a skill, it takes practice, and it cannot necessarily be described logically or linearly, but it has to be practiced. And that's what we do on this channel in this modality. We practice we coach you into being able to click into that state without having to rely on a certain imaginal image or a certain group or agglomeration of feelings, because it's independent of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough, but what you want is yours whether you feel it or not. However you feel, you're going to get it anyway. Oh yes, you want to feel good because that allows you to get into flow and get into state. But that will all come once you get into your state. You have to decide that you're in your state first, and then your feelings will follow. Feeling good does have great value, and we recommend to all of our clients and all of our viewers that you feel as good as you can from when you wake up. When you wake up in the morning, you meditate and you get yourself into a good feeling vibration. And basically, as Abraham Hicks talks about, you see how far you can go throughout your day without having a single negative feeling. And if you can spend the entirety of your day, or at least the first part of your day, in flow, it will be very easy for you to get into that state and to remain into that state, as Neville Goddard talks about persevering. But the key issue is stop seeking perfection. You're never going to get to perfection. The next time you attain your intention or your goal that you've manifested, I want you to observe what the feelings are around that. And usually the feelings around that, when you attain that, are a very momentary sense of happiness, and that doesn't even last, I think, for a few minutes for most things. And then you get back into this groove of boredom, and you will remain in boredom, and you will sink down the emotional scale until you get a new intention, and then practice getting into the state of that. What does that mean? The true juice of life and the true meaning of life, the true passion of life, is in setting an intention and then practicing yourself into the state, whether that is through inner modalities or outer modalities, and getting into that state. Once you click into that state, ladies and gentlemen, it's as if the fun is over. Neville Goddard calls this the Sabbath. There is a sexual metaphor for this that we won't go into deeply, but after the act, what happens? The person is completely incapacitated for a few minutes. There's no more passion. There's simply a releasing and a rest. We can't stay in that rest very long because we get very bored, ladies and gentlemen. So the spice of life is truly in the journey. So what I want you to do is I want you to learn to enjoy the journey to your manifestation and not seek that outcome on the physical. When you do that, you'll be able to simply pass your day in a state of flow, and then what you want will come to you quicker than you could imagine. So that's my advice to all of you today, right now. Stop seeking perfection. The perfect is the enemy of the good. Just get into that state and practice yourself into that state until it feels so natural that there's a natural release in your body and in your spirit, and then you're back to the 0 point, and then you can start generating new desires and new passions and new intentions. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you appreciate our content, please subscribe and like to our channel so that we can get this information and these viewpoints out to as many people as possible. Also, we do have a Facebook group. We would invite you to join that. That is a group for master manifestors where they dialogue with me and we all dialogue with one another as to how to best create for the interesting and traumatic times that we live in. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. As always, we are going to be putting out some more very interesting videos this weekend. So until very soon, with great love and appreciation, this is Javier, and we'll see you soon.